summer. I fly so high right now that I might not come back down. Dancing to my own beat, cherry on the top, sweet, everything around me is looking.
We're gonna get started in just a second here, guys. Just waiting for everybody to get in here.
I'm feeling like a brand new me.
There it is.
For the very first
Getting everybody in here. What's up, guys? We got a full house today. Yo, what's up, Jake King? Put over here at Instagram. You guys see me over here. Lots of Facebook, YouTube, all of it. Wait, everybody in here. Wait, what is
There
going
goes
on,
the
guys?
music. What up, fellas?
Sorry, music was too loud for you, Dan. It's like, turn it down.
Yeah, I know, right?
I can't hear you. Jay King says, love the videos, guys. Super inspiring every time we do these lives. What's going on, guys? We're happy to do them. I'm here with one of our clients and coaches, Dan DeLeon. I'm
The
pronouncing
man.
your last name correctly, right? Oh, you're muted, dude. I can't hear you.
Dude, rookie mistake.
First timer.
I'm picking up on this.
This is my first rodeo.
He knows what
Your
he's doing,
first time.
guys, I
Never been on a
promise.
sales call before, right? Yeah. Oh, no.
Sales?
Yeah, sales? What? Well, I'm here with one of our clients, Dan, and I know you shared a win. Maybe you want to share it for everybody else. What was kind of the biggest win you had last month in the program?
Oh, yeah. Well, last month, take home cash collected was $27K.
Let's go.
So really
baby.
stoked about that. My wife was really happy about that.
What's she buying? She going shopping?
No, it's funny. She was like, "Let's go to Disneyland," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Let's go." So I think we're definitely planning a Disneyland trip. So that's in the works for
I
sure.
love it.
Is it California Disney or Florida Disney?
California. Florida's it's
They're
Disney
cooler
World
than
is
us, man.
Florida.
We deal with Florida Disneyland. It's not as cool.
Yeah.
California's
Yeah, yeah.
cooler.
Yeah.
Let's get some comments in here. We got Lotus 7 Films just joined with the program 2 hours ago. Dude, we are pumped for you. We're excited for you to get started and start crushing it. And then we got some other questions pouring in. We'll hit those in just a second. If you guys want to start asking some questions in the chat, we'll start answering them for you. But you said 27K cash collected last month, right?
Yep.
And you have 2 kids. Is that correct?
I do. Yeah.
How do you have
Yeah,
time,
2
man?
kids.
How do you have
It's-
time for this?
And he
It's
has
a
a
great
full-time
question.
job.
And you have a full-time job, which you're leaving that, right?
Yeah. Soon.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Man, that's a great question. How do I do it? Man, that's the question. I
Just
think,
finding time, prioritizing, right? Like that's probably one of the biggest things that we hear a lot of times. People are like, I don't have the time. I don't know if I can find the time. It's like you make the time. If it's a priority, you make the time. That's it, right?
That's really it. I
Yeah.
think for me, it's a long time coming. I don't think it's just like a switch, like, okay, I'm going to start prioritizing it. I think you have to, and there's this analogy that I heard that like, you could go to the airport and then you could just tell them, hey, take me somewhere cool. And they could take you to Idaho when you really wanted to go to Italy. So if you're not clear about your destination, if you're not clear about the goals, if you're not clear about the results that you're looking for, then it's not going to happen. Right. So I just got really clear on the things that I needed to do. And I just went into that. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And maybe for people who are just kind of starting out, maybe they're in the 5 to 10K a month range. Like, what are the things that you focused on to actually hit that? Because I think for a lot of people, they focus on a lot of things, but they're not really the right things or the things that are actually going to get them to where they want to go. So like, what did you focus on specifically to get there?
I think for me, especially in the beginning, when I was in that range of, 3 to 5K, it was sales, like leads were coming in, I had the fulfillment all set up. Everything was good, but I really needed to work on my sales, as well as my offer. But for me, I think I really dove deeper into sales, and that really helped me because, you could have a lead generation, system bringing you leads, but if you don't know how to close them, if you don't know how to speak to a prospect, if you don't know how to uncover their pain, then it's gonna be really hard to close them, right? Unless they're a lay down, right? Which sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So that was my main focus when I first started in that range, was just really dialing my sales process.
Yeah, and then to get from 27 to 100, like, because I've done that with clients before. It's like at this point, it's like, how many calls did you take to get $27,000 in sales? And then how do you take double that amount of calls or start to hire other people to take calls for you? So then they can close those deals on your behalf. and then you can kind of get yourself out of that. You know what I mean? But I mean, maybe for everyone watching too, did you rely on word of mouth, referrals, stuff like that to get to 27? Or like, how did you get the leads? Like, what did that look like? Maybe let's give some people some tactical things if you're okay with that on what you did specifically.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I think, I mean, just like any business, you rely on word of mouth, but you know, that's the toughest thing because there's no dial that you could turn up or down with word of mouth. So, you know, focusing heavily on ads, right? And that's something, Evan, you guys helped, especially, but Evan for sure, really helped me dial that in. And that was really the biggest game changer for me, because when I was able to dial in my ads, to know exactly the type of ads to create, the pain that you're solving, what your service solves for your clients. And then the greatest part about it was then offering that to my clients. That was really big too. So I think there's a lot to learn, right? And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, but I think, again, prioritizing the things that you need to do first and foremost, and then being clear with those goals. I think that's really what helped me. In terms of tactical, aside from joining Master Filmmaker.
I want to keep it away from coaching. We're just a vehicle for you guys. So I want to kind of give you the credit, obviously, you deserve, and just any kind of tactical things that you can give people as far as value is helpful for sure. Yeah.
I mean, for me, one thing I noticed, right, just speaking even with myself, and this is something that even I made a mistake on, was when I was on these calls, right, whether it's a sales call, triage call, discovery, any call, I would diagnose and I would start telling them, you know, what they need for their business right away. And it's a big mistake, right? You know, and you use this example all the time, Eric, about going to the doctors. Like, imagine going to the doctors, you're a patient, you're in pain, and then before you even enter the office, the table or whatever, the doctor just starts telling you what you need. You're like, hey, you haven't even asked me any, like, it's my knee that's hurting, but you're talking about my shoulder. That's strange. It's no different. No different with sales calls, right? So I think for me, that was the biggest tactical thing that I changed and I switched up, was just how I speak to my prospects, how I speak to leads that I'm speaking with. Just making sure that I'm first assessing what's going on, how they're doing things, and then from there, giving my assessment, giving my recommendation, you know, relaying any advice that I have. That was the biggest thing that changed for me.
I was talking to one of our clients yesterday on my coaching call. It was interesting because I was like, he went into a call with it was a law firm, like a lawyer, and they're doing like a $7,500 one-off project for them. Right. But when I asked him, I was like, did you ever ask him like what the main goal is for the business? Like, what does he actually want to do with the content? He was like, no, I just asked him, I said, like, what kind of content do you want to create? And like, that's just not a good enough question in those calls. Cause you have to figure out like, you want to create content, but a lot of times the client doesn't even know what kind of content they want to create. Right. So you have to figure out, okay, what is the actual goal? What are you looking to achieve? And then how do we reverse engineer to get to that goal with content, right? And I think starting with like, hey, where do you want to, we want more leads or more clients or more awareness or whatever, right? And then you reverse engineer that and you figure out, okay, cool, we're here. This is how we actually get there with the content strategy that we're going to show you. And just asking those
doctor asking you what surgery you want.
It's like going to the doctor, like, hey, what kind of surgery do you want, Ethan or Evan or Dan?
You want spine surgery? We need an ankle replaced. Like, what do you want?
Sure. Speaking of priorities, I do have to jump off for a quick second. I will be back. Thank you. Hold on.
All good. But yeah, I think that is a big thing. It's like, we're not asking people like, what do they actually want? Or like, what are they looking for at the end of the day? They're not going to prescribe themselves at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find this setting.
Well, that's where you can charge more too, is being the expert with the solution.
Yep, exactly. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out where this color is for this name titles. I don't know why it's not working on here. Show, there it is. Okay, cool. I got it. Hold on. We got to know who everybody is. Cool. So we got a couple questions here that we're going to kind of run through. Dan's going to hop back on. Hi, is this live or replay? This is live. What's going on? Fourth Eye Productions. Mike asks, what's a typical frame you guys create with a prospecting client? I think you mean prospective client. When you say typical frame, maybe give us a little bit more clarity on what you're asking there as far as what is a typical frame, like within what context would be more of my question here. Let's see if I get some more questions here. I'd love some tips for beginners who are scaling from some portfolio projects to reach new clients. Is it cold calling, cold email, in-person, cold approach? Evan, Ethan, maybe you guys want to tackle this, but it's going to really depend. Like, do you have a budget for ads? Do you not have a budget for ads? What does that look like?
I think it depends too, like what the portfolio is. Like, do you want to work with law firms, but you have a wedding portfolio?
Yeah. So number one, I'd figure out like, who do you want to work with? What's the niche, right? Like, who specifically do you want to work with? Is it, and to kind of give you a container, we're looking at service-based industries like law firms, home service, like Dan works with home service companies. Any kind of local business that charges a decent amount of money for something that they would sell to their client, right? So figure out like, who do I want to work for? What's my niche? And then if you don't have a lot of money for ads to start running ads, then I would go and do a free to case study, right? And Ethan, Evan, maybe you guys want to elaborate on that a little bit more, but going in saying, hey, we're going to create one type of video for you in exchange for a case study. And then you can then get a case study from that specific industry member. So you're like, hey, we work with law firms. Here's some case studies from law firms. And then I'm going to upsell them from that into one of our other packages after we do an amazing job. It works really, really well. And then you have some money, and then we take that money, we put it into ads, and we start generating leads that way. So people are coming to you as opposed to you having to do cold outbound where you have to beg and plead people to talk to you. That's what I would recommend. Evan, Ethan, I don't know if you have any other thoughts there though.
No, that's what I would have said. Get free examples and build the portfolio in the niche, get the testimonials, snowball that into new clients.
Yeah, for sure.
And have Eric, what'd you call it yesterday? A treasure chest to spend on ads. Yeah, golden chest.
Oh, a little bit of like a chest, a war chest. Like have a couple $100.
War chest,
yeah, exactly.
You have like a nest egg.
Yeah, exactly. Mike says, so basically, how would you frame yourself as the expert with a solution? It's a really good question. And I'm looking over here at Instagram. How would you frame yourself as the expert with a solution? It's really going to come down to like how you view yourself. I think like if you view yourself as like a freelancer or just somebody who shoots videos, then you're not going to view yourself as like an expert, right? But if you view yourself as like, I am the content expert, I'm going to diagnose what your problem is and then prescribe you content that's going to help you fix that problem. Then from there, you kind of take on more of this frame, right? And then when you're going into the call, if somebody's like, hey, tell me how much it is, tell me what the videos cost, like, tell me what it is, right? At that point, I'd be like, hey, hold on a second. Let's understand more about what it is that you're looking for. And then from there, I could make my diagnosis and kind of let you know what my thoughts are on what I think the best kind of content for you would be, right? And then I'm describing that solution more and I'm holding my frame there.
And something that I've told people too when they ask that question of like how much the videos cost, right? Like I straight up looked at somebody and said, well, I don't sell videos. I don't sell videos.
Yep.
I sell a system that just uses videos to be the vehicle that gets you what you want.
We're selling outcomes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like when I said that to them, then they were like, what do you mean? You do video? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't sell videos. That's not what I do. And they kind of looked at me funny. And then that just got them more intrigued into like, and they started asking me questions. And then that's just kind of how it snowballs, into things. But yeah, I don't sell videos.
Yeah. And then Mike asks, in terms of on a sales call, how do I learn about where do I learn about how to actually create value for a potential lead? Well, so like value is created when you create a gap on the call. And so the value you're providing is, where are you? Where do you want to be? What does that gap actually look like? And then building that gap of like, do you feel like you can get there on your own? Or do we maybe need to implement a different system or strategy or whatever it may be to get you to that goal? That's where you build value, right? Because if they don't buy from you and they don't work with you, then you can't help them change anything at the end of the day, right? So it's like, we can't create value unless we build that gap and say like, here's what, here's where you're at, here's where you're looking to go, here's what that looks like, and here's how we're going to help fill that gap, right? And it's understanding, where are you at? How many leads are you generating? How much awareness are you generating? Where do you want to be? How much revenue do you want to be generating? And then figuring out what that gap is. Because if I can solve $1 million problem, I can charge $10,000 to $50,000 for that, right? And we're selling the outcome. We're not selling the videos. So videos are just the vehicle, Mike says. Exactly. They're literally just the vehicle. We're selling an outcome. We're selling, like a destination that they actually want to get to.
And that's the trap that most of us start out in, of like, we're just trying to sell these videos and get what we want out of our time. And again, it's the trading the time for money kind of deal that you have to get yourself out of when you're trying to build a business.
Yep, exactly. Let me see if I can get my camera to go down here. There we go. All right, cool.
We get the studio.
I'm just going to do this on all my sales calls, man. I'm just going to go down. Okay, cool.
You don't have to go to the gym anymore.
I don't. I'll just do squats at my desk. Yeah,
There we go.
exactly.
There we go.
But we're selling the outcome. We're not selling them the actual thing. And so, I always use the example of like Delta, right? Delta doesn't sell you the seat, the comfy seat, the snacks, the whatever. They sell you connecting with the world. They sell you different destinations. They sell you going and visiting family. That's what they're selling you. They're not selling you the actual thing.
So the little pre-flight video is all about destinations and different spots over the world. Not like, hey, here's the snacks you're going to get on the plane today.
Yeah, exactly. Do you spend much time anytime teaching your video clients what to do with those videos? Absolutely. If you're asking like if we teach our clients how to do that, yeah, absolutely. Like the call I had yesterday with one of our clients on the coaching call, he was asking about the law firm, like what kind of videos should he create? And so we kind of separated it into a couple different buckets, right? You have like traffic driving videos, and then you have videos that actually nurture them. So I like to think of it as like traffic and nurture as the two different buckets, right? Traffic driving content is going to be creating content like ads for our clients, content like organic short form content. Yep. Evan, I don't know if you have any of those.
I was just going to say like Reels, which ads are going to be more powerful because you can control everything.
Exactly. And so then you have those, but then nurture content is like brand films, testimonial content, FAQ videos, pre-call videos, demo videos, VSLs, like, and you separate that into two buckets. So then you get on the call, you're like, Mr. Prospect, what's the problem? Well, we need more leads. Okay, so what are you doing to get more leads and more traffic? Well, nothing really. We're just like kind of posting randomly on social media. We don't have any strategy. Okay, so you need traffic driving content, and we help our clients actually put that strategy together so they can understand like how they actually help their clients. Because you can't sell someone a retainer and then not know how to actually fulfill on it. Like that's what we're here to help you guys with in the program, right?
Yep. I have two more buckets on top of that is internal and external content.
Yes.
Is it customer facing or is it internal? Is training, onboarding, recruiting, things like that? Investor. Is it for a board? What's the root purpose?
Yeah,
of the video?
Exactly. Yeah, and then we teach our clients through like how that actually works, what you're supposed to be looking for, what kind of content strategy you should put together. And then like I was talking to this client as well. He was selling, I made a YouTube video about this. He was selling like I think he was in business for 20 years, fairly successful, doing 20, 25K a month, which is like nothing to balk at. Like that's good numbers. But the problem is every single one of those projects was a one-off project. So every single time he sold something, it was just one and done. And he had to reset every month, which was exhausting for him. And it was like, literally he'd grind, get a bunch of referrals, word of mouth. He didn't have a system for getting leads. He would get to that 20, 25K a month, right? And then after that, next month, he would have to start all over again and grind to get more leads. Instead of if you had retainers, like 25K a month is, Ethan's my calculator over here, is 5K, five clients at 5K a month. Is that correct, Ethan? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I can do math today.
It's 300, it's like 300K a year.
Yeah. And so then it's taking that. And if I have that and I keep all 5 of those clients, I don't think people realize that it's like, if I keep those, I'm at 25K a month as a floor. If I literally did no other lead generation or sales, I would be making 25K a month every month. And so he was doing a lot of these one-off projects. We said, why don't we transition this into you sell them that intro project, that one-off project, and then you try to upsell them into a retainer after that, right? And I think a lot of people don't think about that, or just start with selling them the retainer at the end of the day. And then you keep them as long as possible, keep the client churn as low as possible, and then you just keep those clients paying you every single month. And you have an easier business that you don't hate at the end of the day. And you can also hire people because you have margin to do it. If I'm making 25K a month, I can pay 5K a month for a team who can do all the work for me at the end of the day, right? So,
yep.
Mike says, I'm currently creating 30 short form videos for a window cleaning company that's looking to expand their audience and take over the market share in Bellingham, Washington. That's awesome, Mike. I love that. Yeah, I would just look at like, what are you charging them per month? And then try to lock them into a longer term retainer. Lotus 7 Film says, where does the offer end? We can do a new website, take care of social media posting, create all this video content, but do you offer the house after diagnosis or do in parts? That's something we're going to work with you on. I think you said you just joined 2 hours ago, so we haven't had time to help you with your offer sheet just yet. But that's something we're going to well define within your offer sheet and say, like, these are the types of deliverables that we're going to create. This is what we're going to do. And then we have a scope, right? It just depends on what you want.
It's also not going to be written in stone either.
Yeah, it may change. Like Ethan here is going to do your onboarding. So like you'll actually speak with Ethan. He'll work through this with you. He'll make sure that everything's good to go as far as those offers. But we like to set a frame of what that looks like, what those deliverables actually look like. And then after that, it may change over time. Like Dan, if he pops back on here, will probably tell you like he's changed his offer a little bit. He's adapted things. He's changed things to see what the actual, like what his market responds to and what they like at the end of the day. Excuse me.
Yeah, because if they don't need it or it doesn't solve an issue or make their life easier or whatever, like for example, like what he's put here, like the thing that's glaring to me is website. Does that solve a problem?
Is that enough value?
Like having
to
a
them?
new
Yeah,
one, does that do anything? If
most people already have a website that's set up, right? Maybe they do. Maybe it's not a huge value.
Nobody's getting to the website. Like, how do we get people to the website? Nobody sees it. Then, like, why do we need a new one?
Yeah.
You want to look for things that are going to provide a lot of value to the client, and then things that don't cost you a ton of money to add into your packages. Like, for instance, like if you have a longer form video, you can chop some of that stuff up and make short form content, give it to the client, and it really doesn't take you any extra work, right? So it's like selling the sawdust and finding those high margin things that you can put into the package so you can actually give them more value and it doesn't really cost you more time, right? Or more money or not as much money. But that's something we're going to work through with you when you onboard with us. Let's see. Fourth Eye Productions, would you recommend in cold calling a free initial video then going into a retainer? Would that work against me or for me? So it just depends. We don't really love cold calling, I'll be honest with you.
I definitely wouldn't offer a free retainer either.
No, I wouldn't offer a free retainer. So I think what they're asking is like if we're gonna offer this like free to case study where if like we don't have a lot of people in our ecosystem, right, and we need more leverage, like if we're gonna offer a free to case study, we would typically go in, offer that. We have a script that we give our clients for that. But basically go in, offer the free video, get the case study, and then we would upsell into the retainer after that, if that makes sense. And then we only do that once or twice for people who don't have like any footing in a specific industry. And then we transition you into running ads so you can get people coming in and booking on your calendar. You don't have to do any outreach because you're not going to scale doing cold calling. It's just not what we found. Yeah. It's not how we do it. But if you need some case studies, it is a really good strategy that a lot of our clients will use to get those first couple of case studies. And then it looks like you've worked in the industry for a while and you have like clout or authority, right?
I would do like email and LinkedIn for your first outreach.
And also too, I'll throw this in there because it kind of worked for me in something that I did recently, but go to like shared workspaces because they're already all there, right? And now it's more personable than like a cold call, and it does work. Like you could just pop in if you have some business cards or whatever. It's just about generating some conversations with some people. You kind of create a little buzz within that little building that you walk into. It works.
Yeah. So or walk into the business, right? And this is, again, I want to preface this with like, this is not our scalable strategy.
Right. This is a beginner.
We use ads to get you to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100K a month. But if you're like, hey, I need some case studies and I've never worked with medical companies before, then walk into a medical company and say, hey, we're working with we want to work with a couple medical companies in the area. I add scarcity there. You know, not even sure if you'd be interested in this, but we're looking to give one free XYZ video to a medical company in the XYZ area, in the Atlanta area, in the Woodstock area, wherever you live. You know, who would be in charge of your marketing department, and would they even be interested in something like that? And I'm taking a leaned out approach to that the entire way through, to where I'm like, it's not a big deal if you're not interested, but just let me know if that's something that you're looking for. And then oftentimes they'll be like, yeah, I am interested. I want to talk about that. And then you just set up a call and you build that value on that call before you pitch them the free thing, right? You still go through the sales process.
Yeah. Ask your own dentist.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's not, you need 2 of these. I want to be clear. You need like 2 case studies. That's pretty much it. And oftentimes people can go back to their past clients and get case studies as well. So if you can do that, you don't even have to do this step, right? Yeah. Fourth Eye Production says, how much do you charge for coaching? $100 bajillion. No, I'm kidding. It's custom for each. What's that?
Is the Austin Powers the 1 billion or 1? I haven't seen those movies in a while.
No. I mean, everything is personalized to the actual clients that we work with. So if you want to learn more about that, there should be a link in our bio to fill out an application and schedule a demo with our team to see if we can even help. Some people don't need us. So Gadgets, Gear, and Coffee said, on a retainer with a client, low pay, but great for learning. Case studies lack solid data. Proposed an IG ad, tracking what I can. Sales team isn't helpful. Any tips? If you could give us some context on what type of business, that would be helpful. And then when you say case studies lack solid data, do you mean their case studies lack solid data or they're not very convincing? Give me a little bit of an idea there. And the IG ad would be fine as long as you're trying to generate leads and the sales team can call those leads and close those leads. But I would need a little bit more context on what kind of business it is. And I can give you some more feedback on that here. Let's see. But Evan, Ethan, anything that comes to mind there? I mean, always run, like taking your best piece of organic content, running it as an ad, running it to like a Facebook lead form for the business is always helpful to generate some leads. And then you can start getting some tangible results for them is always going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
On one of his previous questions, like tips for beginners, and like having a sales team it's a big cut to your profit margin.
Well, I think they're talking about the business they're working with as a sales team, but the sales team isn't helpful for them and like helping them actually generate results for the clients.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was talking about his sales team or like his clients' sales team.
No, I think it's the actual business's sales team. So, I mean, if you can talk to the sales team, I'd figure out like how many leads are they getting right now? What does that look like? And then if you can run an IG ad and figure out what the qualifications of like a qualified lead for them would be, then you can set up a quick little IG ad and then run those people into that ad, have them fill out a lead form, and then have the sales team call those people, get them on a phone call, and then turn those into deals for the business. That's what I would probably recommend. I don't know if you're just doing organic content for them right now, but that's something to look at as well there. Let's see what is going on, guys. We're doing a Q&A, so we got a couple more minutes here. If you have any questions around scaling your video business, getting more clients, let us know. We do this once a week, and we just try to answer as many questions as we can for you guys. Let's see. I don't know if Dan's popping back on. I think he had a client thing. Let's see.
Shame on Dan.
Shame on Dan. Let's see. What other questions do we have, guys? Here we go. Okay, cool. So it's a car wrapping service. Your case studies lack solid data. IG ads to push leads. Yeah. Sales team, I know they won't help me track those. So I'd figure out, it's a very simple thing you can do. So you can just like set up an IG ad. So figure out what's the best piece of content, or just have them record like an ad. And there should be a script on my YouTube channel on like how to actually go about recording the ad. I have a couple of videos on that, but just like hook, call out, pain points, and then solution CTA, and then record just like a vertical ad for them, set it up on Facebook, do like a Facebook lead form, have that, figure out, okay, it's a car wrapping service. What's their minimum budget for like a lead they're looking for? Maybe they're looking for people to spend a minimum of like $5,000 to wrap their car. And then be like, have a question in that lead form where you're like, do you have a minimum of $5,000 to be able to, invest in wrapping your car, XYZ, yes or no? You can put some conditional logic on that Facebook lead form. So there's, you can filter out bad people. This is something we help our clients with as well. But a little bit of conditional logic, filter out those bad people, and then just send them to the sales team CRM using something like Zapier. Or if they have an integration on their ads account, then they can just hook it up. Like if they use like Go High Level or HubSpot or something like that. And then something else you can do is also create a Zap. I'm getting a little technical here. You can create a Zap from the Facebook ad into just a Google Sheet, like a spreadsheet. So you can see all the leads that you're getting for them and be like, hey, I got you guys 100 leads. How many of those did your sales team close? And if the sales team sucks, then the business owner is going to know that, because if you got them 100 leads, they didn't close a single thing, then obviously they're going to know it's a sales team issue. But you did your part, and then you can get a case study with the business owner and be like, we helped this car wrapping service, get 100 leads for their business using our content. Hopefully that makes sense.
And that's why I tell people only guarantee as much as you can control. Like you can guarantee and control the leads, but you can't control the sales part.
Yeah. And you're on the right track. Like, you should be tracking as much as you can independently. The beauty shot stuff, I would take the beauty shot stuff, use it as B-roll, and then basically have one of their people on camera, like reading off of like an ad script that you create for them, where you're like, hey, if you're an XYZ type of person and you want to have XYZ type of wrap on your car, call out the audience, and then call out pain points, and then show beauty shots of the wrap. We're accepting 5 more people for this special offer for our wrap shop, whatever, right? Fill out the form below, let us know if you're interested, and then you can run them directly to like a lead form there. And then that way, when you put it in the sheet, you can also track how many leads you're getting for them. It's super, super simple. Just look up like how to set up a Zapier integration with a Facebook lead form. Do you have any monthly retainer clients for the music side of things, artists? No,
Nope.
do not. No.
Nope.
Problem is there's health, wealth, relationships. Those are the outcomes people pay for. And businesses are paying for wealth. They want to make an ROI or return on investment with the content that you create for them. Music video artists, if I can talk, are broke most of the time, unless they're signed by a label. And even then, they're probably still broke, right? But the problem is
Beyonce selling out stadiums.
there's no monetary outcome for them. So they're not going to spend a lot of money because there's not a ton of money that you're going to bring in for them, right? If I can help a wrap shop sell more, a car wrapping shop sell $5,000 packages, then it's pretty easy for me to charge them a $5,000 retainer if I get them like 5 to 10 clients a month, right? Not that hard. An artist, a little bit different, a little bit more tough. Cool. What other questions, guys? And then we're going to wrap it up here. Let's see.
Yep. The make money outcome is super important.
Huge.
Weddings as well.
Yeah, weddings is tough too. Weddings is tough. But if you guys want to learn more about what we do at Master Filmmaker, getting more clients, putting in a system, getting retainers, all that fun stuff, you can click the link below. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you are on Instagram, you can go to my link in bio and schedule a call, see if it's a good fit. And outside of that, keep enjoying these free videos, guys, and we will see you in the next one.
Cool.
See you guys.
Cause I love this life.